Hey loves, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Faith, and today guys I'll be checking out this video titled explaining white privilege. And you guys, I'm super excited for this. If you're yet to subscribe to this channel, please consider subscribing, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And without much ado, let's see what this video is all about.
So we're going to talk about exploring white privilege today. We're going to need 6 volunteers. I need 3 people who have a strong perspective about white privilege. Like, have a perspective. You got a critique on it. If someone asks you about it, you could be like, oh yeah, no, I can talk about white privilege. I got this. A white person who grew up in the middle or upper middle class white world. Now I need a poor white person. And then I need a wealthy black or brown person. So here we go. So, bro, give us something about you. So you're like, you two are, you're just here. You can actually move your seats just away a little bit. You're on, bro. Tell us about yourself. White guy.
I'm a sophomore here. I'm from Bucks County, Pennsylvania.
What are you studying?
Finance.
Finance. Oh, you want to be in finance, yeah?
Yeah, that's the goal.
Ticket to what? So what's your background? What do your parents do?
My mom is an office manager, and my dad is retired.
Yeah? And so you're here studying finance.
Yes.
You're in a frat?
Yes.
What, the EX frat?
That's what some call it, yeah.
What is it?
Sigma Chi.
Sigma Chi? Oh, you guys aren't on probation or anything? I thought, it seems like half the frats are on probation.
Not right now, no.
All right. Probably give it another week. You probably will be. All right, so here's what I want. Monet, Dalton, Allaire. I want you to explain this guy his white privilege.
He was an engineer.
So, oh, yeah. Hang on. Did you get that? Oh, all right. Do you want to start?
Oh, yeah, I was just going to ask. So,
hold it, Mike, really tight.
Did both of your parents go to college?
No, neither of them did.
Neither of them went to college, and he became an engineer?
Yes.
Oh.
How do you say how?
One of his best friends started a company, and he's good with math.
So, was there like a connection, like a friend?
Yeah, they used to like race together.
Interesting.
Cars.
Go ahead.
Any other questions?
So your job is to explain his white privilege. He doesn't know why he doesn't get. He doesn't get his dude. Look at this guy. He's like a frat. What do you call? Who are they? He's like just a frat dude.
I suck.
Come on, man.
All right, Sean.
All he thinks about is beer and beer. You know what I mean? I would say women, but whatever. But just beer. He hasn't even got to women yet. It's just beer. Bro. So you're going to explain white privilege to this guy.
Yeah, all right.
This guy, have you ever, do you look in the mirror and think about your white privilege, bro?
Not usually, no.
Okay. I mean, in other words, never. All right.
All right, so the way I look at it is it's probably a combination like 2 things, right? So the first thing is, if you were to just like say, let's say like before you were born, right? It was like you're going to be either born white or black, and then you were randomly selected into like one white or black family. Most people, if their goal was to be born into the best opportunity, you would choose white because there's more white people in better opportunities than there are black people in good opportunities, and not only in this country but like in the whole world. So like all black people and all white people, right? And then another thing is depending on which country you're in, like America. Like I don't know, like I'm white, right? And I have some black friends that say being black never held them back about nothing. And then I have some black friends that say like their whole life is different because they have all these opportunities that they couldn't get to because they're black. So I don't know about that, but that's another perspective, which is that, just like same thing kind of like with being like a man, right? Is like you don't know what you're given, right? Like, cause like it could be anything. Like you go to like this is like a little example, but like go to a grocery store, right?
All right, hang on though. Before you give that example, go to Allaire first. We can come back to that.
Okay. To express or to tell you about your privilege, I think we should talk about your parents. The fact that both of them seem like they're financially stable, and your father became an engineer off the fact of having a friend that he raced cars with. That's amazing. That shows that if an African American was in that same situation, the likelihood of that would not be even existent. Also, you're in a frat, so that means you have time to, drink beer and hang out with your friends and do stuff like that. On the other hand, a lot of students that have to pay for school, go through school, X, Y, and Z don't have that luxury. So right there, you have the luxury of being in a frat, having parents that are able to provide for you.
I feel like it's not necessarily just your parents. You yourself, you're not the privilege. The privilege is in society, and that's just because America was built on white privilege. So it's you see, it's enrooted. It's subconscious. So when an employer, let's say your mom walks into a job, you said she's office management, something like that. Yeah. So let's say when she walks in there, she'd have the same tone, and then someone of another look or aspects have the same tone, and the employer subconsciously is just gonna gravitate more towards her, maybe because the other person comes off aggressive, but they're doing the same exact thing. And he just said, if someone of another race were to say something like what she just said, or something like what I just said in the same exact tone, it would be subconsciously interpreted another way. So that's why the privilege comes into the way society automatically views a certain groups. One group is automatically subconsciously viewed as aggressive, while the other seems this is more suited for the workplace, different things like that. So it's not just you and your family itself, it's America. And I feel in order for us to fix that part of America, which was made in the 1800s and slavery and Jim Crow and all that, I feel we have to acknowledge that it's a thing, and that's we have to circumvent it that way.
Okay. All right. Cool. Thanks, Mom. Dude, tell us about your white privilege here. They're laying it out to you. What do you have to say?
What I'm getting.
I can't wait till your frat brothers are watching this.
They still are right now. I don't. They're kind of making it seem that I was born into it, and that us as whites have a better opportunity because of the subconscious mind.
No, just you. Just
me?
You have a better opportunity.
Yeah, just me. Sure.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You don't think so?
Yeah. No.
Or you don't see it?
Maybe I don't. Yeah, sure. I don't see it. Let's go with that.
All right. So, okay, that's cool. Got it. So this is, mind you, this is what we're dealing with, right? It's we got to find a way to say it. We're going to come back to you for a second, bro. But in the meantime, we're going to come back to you real fast. Given what you said, it's built into society. So, you did nice, dude. I don't. So what's your story? You're white, right?
Yeah. So my parents are divorced, and when they got divorced, my mom wasn't working. So it's kind of just been slowly working up to where we are now. But even then, I would consider us pretty poor. We've never owned a house. We've been running pretty much my entire life. My dad was remarried, and his family makes more money than us. But with me and my sister primarily living with my mom, I would consider us pretty poor. But
okay, so how do you incorporate her into it? Bro, you can join in on this. How do you incorporate that? Because you said it's built into society.
Yeah,
she must be living in a different society.
But there's anomalies at the same time. I feel white privilege and saying, every single white person is privileged, but at the same time, factually speaking, your family, not you specifically, but people in general, their families are more likely to have generational wealth just because of simply the way America is built. You're built to more likely have privilege in society.
Okay, bro, do you want to respond to her? How would you incorporate her?
Well, I was also grew up kind of poor.
Where'd you grow up, bro?
Well, I grew up in Lehighton. It's a small town, kind of pretty far east from here.
Okay.
It's pretty depressed town.
So what? Depressed?
Yeah, there's a lot of it's actually mostly white, but there's a lot of people doing drugs. It's not a good place to grow up, and it was really bad environment. So that wasn't white privilege. You know what I mean? So like, but I don't really think that has anything to do with white privilege, because like there's black people that are very rich and very famous, and there's white people that are very poor. It doesn't necessarily mean that white privilege doesn't exist.
So this doesn't negate white privilege. Well, how would you?
No, it's just an outlier.
Yep, I got you. How do you incorporate her story into it?
So I think that white privilege talks about how you can access agency, like what can you do. So like say hypothetically you're saying that you grew up poor, however you do attend a PWI, and I feel like that in itself gives you a privilege versus somebody who, let's say that was person of color in your situation, mom wasn't working, X, Y, and Z, would they still have the opportunity to attend Penn State? So I'm not necessarily saying, I'm not invalidating anybody's experiences because I feel like it's all valid, but what I'm saying is that white privilege sometimes gives you the freedom to access better opportunities, in a sense, solely off because you are white.
Okay, so you caught that, right? You said that really well. Like, you know what I mean?
Thank you.
No. You laid that. That's the point that you're going to lay out. It's like it gives you a certain amount of privileges just being white. However, here's the however. Man, you are walking on a razor's edge to say that like her being white somehow this in some kind of microwave or whatever, like it's a razor's edge.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying that. But let's say, like, even as far as like funding, and I'm not saying you in particular, but I'm saying if it comes down, if you present your story and somebody else presents their story, who would get scholarships? Who would get funding? And I'm not saying I don't know your financial background. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is that if you take a black person and a white person on equal playing fields, you go up in a poor neighborhood, drug infested, so on and so on, who has the better chances of making it out? And that's where white privilege plays a role. So I'm not saying like, oh, well, white privilege, you're going to get to do all this and all that. I'm not saying that. But if me and you are on an equal playing field, come from the same background, socioeconomics, then will we still have access to the same things? Probably not.
Interesting.
Okay, hang on. Will we still have access to the same things, right?
Right.
So what do you think about that? What do you think about your white privilege?
I definitely do think that even though I am on, I guess, the lower class level, I still think that white privilege exists. Like, I agree with your statement. And it's like, I don't want to say it's not something that we can help, but it's just how people look at things today. And,
Wait, can you give me an example, though? Because, hang on, that's you know what can I just say, hey, everyone, can I just say this really fast? That's a script. That's one of the scripts that your generation has learned. It's like, yeah, I know I have this isn't bad. Like, you're good. Like, you're a good white person, right? Yeah. You learn the script. I know I have a certain amount of privilege. Man, you could be living on the streets, eating rats for dinner, eating whatever, and you could still be like, oh no, but I got the script, but I still have privilege because I'm white. It's like, hang on a sec. So go back. Give me one way in which you have white privilege. Your whiteness gives you privilege.
It's getting tougher.
I mean, I don't know. I haven't had a situation, at least in my life yet, where that has come into play, where I've been against someone who's not white, and it was like I needed a different opportunity. But like, for example, like job opportunities, I'm sure that more in the future would probably be presented to someone who's white rather than someone who's of color. I don't know, like we were talking about financial aid and stuff, like scholarships and stuff, being able to go to Penn State. I don't know. I mean, I really haven't been put into a position yet in my life where that has happened.
But can I say to you all and to everybody else, as far as I know, Penn State has no scholarships dedicated for poor white people. I don't think there's a single one out there.
Yeah, right now, I can't receive more financial aid this semester, so I have like a $2,000 bill that I gotta figure out how to pay in like the next 2 weeks, which sucks. But yeah, I mean.
Okay, so hang on real fast. We're gonna come back. How long would it take you to pay her $2,000 bill? She's Puerto Rican.
I wouldn't have to worry about that. But so in my opinion, like white privilege is a real thing, and I really do think white people have an advantage over minorities. However, there also is a big divide between the rich and poor, and I think that's a whole separate issue.
So, okay, go ahead.
And yeah, so I feel like you're less privileged than me because, well, like I don't have money, but my parents have money and it's nice. So I don't have to worry about certain things that you have to. Like
How much money? I don't want specifics, but like a lot of money. Your parents are really rich.
I mean,
they're wealthy.
Like, yeah.
Like you could call them right now and say, I need $2,000 because I got to give it to my classmate.
Well, no, they make me work for things.
No, I got you. But you could, if you needed $2,000, you could get it.
Yeah.
Okay. Dude, just trying to hook you up, my friend, all right? Look, so how do the three of you she's Puerto Rican. Mm-hmm. So Puerto Rican, so you have, like in the United States, you have Native Americans, right? Then you have Black Americans, then you have Puerto Rican Americans, then Mexican Americans, and so on. So, like, how do you incorporate her into the way society is organized, since she clearly has far more privilege and power than her?
But that's looking between the two, you wouldn't be able to tell. And it's all about the optics. And that's how America works.
It's all about the optics?
I agree.
Yeah?
Yeah, like we don't know their intersectionality yet until they open their mouths. But when we look at you and we make an assumptions, and I'm not saying myself, but how America generalizes, we don't know that you have to pay $2,000. We don't know that your family's wealthy. So, I mean, at the end of the day, how does that work in your favor? At the end of the day, looking at you, you're still white.
Yeah, but okay, so listen, man. So hang on. What I just heard you say was that in the end, right? So tell me if I'm wrong here, right? But what I think I just heard you say was, really in the end, she's as well off or better off than her. What I'm hearing you say, though, and I want you to respond to this, is that she's still better off. In what ways is she better off than her, man? Like, in what ways? Like, I don't see any way in which she's...
From the visual, like, before you get to know them, before they open their mouths, what do you assume?
Yeah, but come on, man. We're gonna... So now what I'm doing is, I'm sitting out here. All right? Bro. I'm sitting next to you. Okay? I'm sitting out here, and I'm just the average person who's thinking about this stuff, right? And I'm like, man, you have not made a convincing argument, because what's your name again?
Alexandria.
Alex. I'm just like, come on, man. Your framework doesn't account for the fact that Alex's family is rich, and her family, I'm just going to say
But they're
rich.
two separate issues.
Yeah, we're talking about race and white privilege, and we're talking about the wealth inequality gap. Two different.
Yeah, but white privilege is also about wealth and inequality. They're all together. I don't know how you could separate them. I'm not talking about. Are we talking about? Well, she won't get followed around in a store by a security guard, but you will. It's like, come on, man. So that's how you're defining white privilege. So I would say open it up, because we're throwing this idea around here. It's like, damn, because and by the way, I'm just having the conversation. Like, you got a lot of people sitting right here in her seat that are going like, I'm not getting this. And you got a lot of people sitting in her seat, a person of color who's got a lot of money, and then we're looking at her and going like, dude, all the people in your town are going to look at her and be like, oh yeah, I'd rather be me, the white person, than her. How many people in your graduating class would say that?
Well, I graduated from my high school. It was probably like 40% white people. I moved to Easton, which is like a little different than my like hometown.
Yeah.
There are some racist people, but most people wouldn't.
No. But I'm just asking. Can you also respond? Yeah, I got you.
I was just gonna respond to the whole like white privilege thing. I feel like white privilege, it goes in like different aspects, like she said. So I feel like for the aspects regarding like financials and finances and like monetary things, I feel like just statistically speaking, white privilege is basically just saying, statistically speaking, if you're a person of like Caucasian background, your family is more likely to have generational wealth that's going to allow you, to be privileged like her and to get in college. But again, there's always anomalies. Like, sometimes your parents or your great-grandparents got lucky. Like my grandparents came from Jamaica, started a business, and then they like became like millionaires like in New York. So there's always anomalies, but at the same time, it's going to be it's difficult. So herself, like if she steps in a place, her employer knows nothing about her background, and these two women come into one job market, and the employer is someone of like basic American views, are like views that are commonly seen in America. Like one person's more likely to get the job than the other. So it's
Okay.
like in finances, and it's like.
Okay, listen, man. So one thing you just said, your grandparents became millionaires in New York?
Well, like
a lot of money.
Yeah.
Dude, so right there, the moment you say that, you understand, if I'm her, if I'm you, I'm just like, and now I'm in a class and we're going to start throwing words around like race inequality and white privilege and this and that, and I'm you. What do you think she's thinking?
I feel like, she'd probably think, I feel like it's still weird though, because it's still like an anomaly. That's just one person in my whole entire family that allowed me to be where I am today. But like on average, like there's going to be percentile wise, there's going to be more white people like of Caucasian background who have like two grandparents of that same background. And that's where the privilege comes in. Okay, so listen, man, let me just come back. This would take a long time to air out. Absolutely. Like, you got to look at the numbers. We're going to look at this class at not just individual examples, obviously numbers, but what I'm trying to point out is, like, first off, this guy right here, dude, the white guy, he's just, like, we throw these words around and we throw stuff around and we take classes like 119 and we throw words and we expect everyone to get the white privilege stuff. It's like, people aren't getting, it's not landing. It's not going to land. It just doesn't land until we.
Wow, you guys, that was such an interesting one. I really enjoyed every minute of this video, and I think this white privilege of a thing is really in people's mind rather than they experiencing it in real life, because what the black girl said is that the white girl is more privileged than her, even as she is from a family of generational wealth. The poor white girl is still more privileged than her just because she's white. This is so funny. I don't know how this white privilege plays out in real life. I've never experienced anything like this because obviously I'm from Africa. So you guys, let me know what you think about it. Do you think white privilege really exists? Everything these students said was that white privilege exists, but they cannot pinpoint a particular instance where they have noticed or seen it play out. This is very interesting, and I love this topic so much. I love hearing their different perspective and what they all have stored up in their head once it comes to white privilege. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Don't forget to leave your comment down below. I really love this topic so much. And one thing I have come to understand is that as much as people believe that there are privileges and white people are more privileged than them, I just feel that the more harder you work, the more successful you tend to be, because nobody puts in hard work and don't see the result. And what the other girl said about her grandparents being lucky to become rich is totally out of context, because all I see here is that her grandparents really worked hard to get to where they are today. They weren't just lucky. Luck did not just shine upon them. I believe they worked their ass off to get to where they are right now. Let me know your thoughts on this particular one. I really enjoyed every minute that this video lasted. If you guys totally enjoyed watching, give this video a massive thumbs up, comment, share, and all that good stuff. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye guys.